This is a tutorial on how to use my custom map creator tool for Black Ops 2. The download will be in the description. Maps are very complex and there's a lot of little things that go into it that are required. So when you start off, you will be given this custom map template with all the default required files. Be sure not to touch anything or change anything unless I specifically say or you know what you're doing. Otherwise the tool will break and we might get some weird errors or your map just won't load. Check the chapters in the description if you want to go to a specific part of the tutorial, and there is also a text version of the tutorial in the readme.md file. The first step is renaming your map. You have to rename a couple files, so just follow along. First you open zone source and replace custom map template with the name, so I'm going to call mine test. Go into zone raw, rename custom map template as your name. And there's two more folders in here. You have to go to client scripts, MP, and wherever it says custom map template, you replace with your name. So you include the _amp and _fx as well. So there we go, there's client scripts. Then go to maps, MP, and do the same as client scripts here. If you want a skybox, the default one that I've included is the dig skybox. So if you go into X model, rename this skybox custom map template to skybox _ your map name, and in my case it is test. In this part I'll show you how to make a very simple map, and I'll build on the features that you can use later on in the video. My preferred tool is Blender, so I'm using Blender 4.0, but you can use pretty much any tool that allows you to export as an FBX file. Now you should know that COD maps are very large, and a 1000 by 1000 square is just a quick run in the COD world. So first I would recommend setting your view distance to end at 10,000, so you'll be able to see pretty much your entire map. Now we'll add just a simple box, so quick cube. I'll just make it to 1000 by 1000, and we'll also move it down a quick little bit, just so you'll be able to spawn on top of it and not below the world. Also add a few cubes around as well. The next step is to export your map, so you go to File, Export, FBX, scroll down to Geometry, and make sure to tick Triangulate Faces and Tangent Space. Then you have to export the FBX file to your map folder, so raw, test, custom map. So you have to be in this custom map folder within your map file, and then down here, rename it to map_gfx.fbx. Once your map is exported, you can make sure it's all correct by going to your custom map folder and then seeing the map_gfx.fbx file here. If you go back into your root folder, open up a terminal session, you type linker.exe, then space, and then the name of your map, so in this case it's test. Press enter, and everything goes correctly. You'll see created zone test at the bottom. The output zone will now be in zone out, the name of your map, and then test.ff. To be able to play your map, you copy the output fast file, go into your mods folder, add a new folder, call it test, that'll be the name of the mod, then copy the output fast file into there. You can then go into Plutonium, go to mods, load your mod, and then you type, in the console you type map, and then the name of your map, so in that case is test. So I've loaded into the map, and as you can see it's all here, all the cubes are here. And a note with all the graphics and collision. Collision will work on either side of the cubes, so as here I can't leave, while graphics it will only display the front facing side. To add images to your map, you will need an IWI version, so here is a crate and some grass. IWI version is made for T6, and these IWIs must be inside your images folder. I also have the DDS versions here as well, just to make it easier to see in Blender. Once you've got all your IWI files in the images folder, you can now start adding them to Blender. So create a new material and rename it to the IWI file name. So this will be grass, as I have a grass.iwi. And I will also import the DDS file just to make it nicer looking on Blender. Same with the cubes, I'm changing them to a crate, so I'm going to create a new material, rename them as crate, and then also import the DDS file. I just did a bit of UV editing to make sure the boxes are correct, and just to double check, make sure the material grass here corresponds to the grass.iwi file, and crate also corresponds to the crate.iwi file. Now you can just export your map as usual, making sure to tick triangulate faces and tangent space, and overwrite the original map GFX. Now as you can see in game, all the images are now here, and we have all the boxes. If you want your collision data separate from your graphics data, for example, if you want grass you can walk through, or walls that look solid but you can actually walk through, there is a way to do that. Let's say for example, I want these two boxes to be non-solid, while these three here to be solid. First off, we'll export the graphics data, which includes everything. So do a quick file, export FBX, be sure to tick these, and export it as mapgfx.fbx. Next, I want to delete these two, as these are the ones I want non-solid, and I'll re-export it again, making sure to tick these, and this time I may rename it map_col, short for collision. Export it, and now if we go back and link it again, as you can see, the output is much shorter, and you will not have this message saying mapgfx will be used for collision instead. As you can see, all 5 boxes are here, while the 2 that we made invisible, this one and this one, can just be moved right through, while the other 3 that we did not, these all have collision, and you can't run into them. If you'd like to change the spawns of the map, within your map folder, you'll have a spawns.json file. Open that up and you'll see this. Attackers is one side, and it's an array of these origin and angles which define where it is and what angle it has. Defenders is the other team, and FFA are the free-for-all spawns, and also during a team deathmatch when you would respawn mid-game. I would recommend using some sort of mod that will be able to get your exact origin and angles, and from there you can just copy it from the game directly into here. If you'd like to add GSC scripting to your map, go to Zone Raw, open your map folder, go to Maps MP, and then open the GSC file that has just the name of your map, not the ambient or FX ones. So open it with some sort of text editor, and here you'll see add GSC code below. Add whatever you want here. You could be a mod menu, could be just anything that you really like. Just be sure not to touch anything up above, as that is all required for the map to load, and without it your map will just exit, it won't say anything, and you have no clue what just happened. If you'd like to import a skybox from another map, just import it, open the xmodel folder, and rename the skybox underscore whatever to skybox underscore the name of your map. To add a load screen to your map, you need to go to Zone Raw, open the mod folder, materials, and then rename this load screen custom map template to load screen underscore the name of your map. In my case, this is test. Next, under images, you need to replace loadscreen.iwi with the load screen that you want. Be sure to rename it loadscreen.iwi though, or it will not work. Finally, if you go to zone source mod.zone and open in a text editor, you need to rename this material to loadscreen underscore test. So the same name that is in your materials folder here. Once you've done this, you can just compile the mod fast file and go out to zone out, and it'll be under the mod here, mod.ff, and copy that into your mods folder as well. If you get an error that says that the collision vertex count exceeds the maximum number, this means that your map is too large for the physics engine to handle, and it won't be able to be ran. This collision data needs to be a simplified version of your map, so for any complex models that might be in there, you can just replace it with a simple shape that has much less vertices.